Here we are with the number 2 of Robotech 2, the Sentinels. Of course, its first book. This was a printing in, let's see, December 1988. So it only happened a few years after the cartoon. In this issue, I've had a few discoveries. Some of the major discoveries, in my opinion, is, and it's not one of the ones that move forward too much. They're still making preparations to go to war. They're still making preparations for the wedding. But Dana Sterling is a child in this, which means this happens after Maycross, but before the second series in Robotech, which is, I think, Next Generation or New Generation. It's been or something like that. It's been a long time since I've watched all those. And here we have them talking back and forth, her showing off her engagement ring. Then we have back to the planet that was being taken over by the Invid. We have some of the guys that are trying to defend against the Invid. And unfortunately, the guys hiding out are watching them get pretty much slaughtered, even though they lost one of the cameras. And they think that they're after the Flower of Life or Robotech or Protoculture Matrix. So they're after one or the other, but they don't know which one it is. So if they're looking for the Flower of Life, it hasn't been around this sector for generations. And then he concludes that, well, then they must want the Protoculture Matrix. They're going to pretty much tear the planet apart until they get it. Back to the ship. So we got, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in a comic book. I'm like, that's supposed to be the SDF-3, which is the SDF-3, I guess. You know, after SDF-1 is, I don't know where the SDF-2 was at, but this is what they designed it to look like, so it can fool the people, the aliens, into thinking it's one of their ships. It's basically a Trojan horse. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. They're looking at it from here and they're going, wow, I didn't recognize it. It looks so different. Yeah, it looks gross. And then there's more back and forth. Then we have Brita shows up. Brita shows up and he has been micronized. Instead of being 60 feet tall, he's only about 10 feet tall now. Still taller than the Micronians, or as we know them as humans. He said something about his face is a secret. He hasn't shown his face off yet because something about they cannot micronize metal. They can only micronize, you know, organic material. And then, of course, Dana is for some reason hanging around, which is kind of weird because you'd imagine they wouldn't want a kid to be hanging around while they're doing all this stuff. Then they get to the observation, or the, I forgot the name of the room is. Basically, it's the room where they discuss their plans. The observation room, yeah, that's right. So they're talking around the observation room, what their plans and what they're going to do. Then we get treated to a picture in the middle, but it looks like a coloring book picture. Not quite as detailed as the last one we got in the last issue. I'm still looking out for those cards that should have came in this, but maybe that was just in book 2, I don't know. Or maybe they were taken out. We got mid-May. And it's just, mostly they're just talking about what's going to happen. And he's talking about keeping an eye on people. Talking about Edwards and how he needs to keep an eye on Edwards, eye on the war, and then the third eye on Lisa. And on the planet, we see what's happened with the people that did not get destroyed. I guess they're being enslaved. And I'm not sure what those are because they look nothing like the Invid shock troopers. Another great issue. I highly recommend picking one of these up for yourself. Mine only cost me like $1 actually. It was $2 on the cover, and originally it was $1.95.